What's going on, guys? Hope all of you are well. I'm actually broadcasting now, which is a very, very positive thing because I was not broadcasting and my mic wasn't working right. Uh, Hold on. Getting this started as always. And yeah, so trying to do this a little bit more, trying to do a couple of different times, see what people like, see where you guys are, see uh, the best angle to get all of this done, if you will. So, I kind of wanted to talk about a couple of ideas that I've been having and a couple of things that have been mulling through my head. Now, if you are a if you are a YouTube member or a patron, then you would have saw a live stream I did earlier where I was talking about a video I was going to upload and had some ideas. I don't think I'm going to upload that video because I don't know that I'm going to go through with that process that I was going to do. I am having a little bit of an interesting situation because a lot of people are really interested. What's up, buddy? Are really interested in the Dominion War, Dominion Borg War, and are really interested in seeing me do stuff that is a lot more longer form. And I want to be able to do that, but still provide the lore reloaded experience that you guys got. So one of the original ideas was to try to split it up, keep it a little bit clean. Have like two Patreons. One is for the lore reloaded. One is for the longer form stuff. Because to do the Dominion Borg War costs like an unreasonable amount of money. You guys would be kind of surprised. To give you an example, when I was looking at the teaser that I have that I show every so often and the less than 3 minute audio log that I have it costs about $350 to $400 just to put that together. That's including animation, that's including voiceovers, that's including a lot of the different various stuff, right? Editors, producers, all of that fun stuff. And so I'm really to do that. It's going to take a little bit more than just randomly trying to put it together, especially if I'm going to do it in the way that you guys like and the way that you guys have come to expect, or at least something that I want to put out there. So I think I'm going to try to keep it somewhat bunched up and see where it goes from there. Are you okay, buddy? Sorry, guys. My dog, he still hangs out with me. By the way, if you guys are seeing this, let me know. For some reason, it doesn't appear to be going out, which is kind of weird. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, so to that point, I'll probably make a couple of changes. The next video that I'm thinking about doing, that I'm somewhat excited about, is doing a short film, a live-action short film. And the idea, ironically, is to have it where it's like 4 or 5 Starfleet Marines or officers that are on a planet that's being assimilated. Of course, I don't have a big budget, so I'll have to get a little fancy when it comes to showing the Borg, if they're shown at all. But I think that could be interesting, especially in a time where the Borg have already adapted to everything. Is my dog? Yeah, he's sitting here walking around me. He can actually walk now, thank goodness. Let me change something. And then, yeah, okay. Change that up. I think the algorithm got really upset because I said a common phrase that people might not appreciate. But yeah, he's walking around me right now. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. I'd be interested in what you guys think. Like, I was looking at funding that at a minimum. It's interesting. I changed that title, and all of a sudden, YouTube starts sending it out. God, I love the algorithm. I was thinking of changing the title, or not changing the title. I was putting it together to see how much it would cost, and the cost itself, at a minimum, this is 3 actors, somebody to help me with the what's going on, Trek culture? Mad, isn't it? Someone to help me with the camera. I wanted a sound guy because I suck at sound, and then me producing and editing, not anybody else, along with all of the different licensing and stuff. We're looking at like $3,000 for a 2-day shoot. $3,000. That is absolutely crazy. Of course, if I had the funds of Trek culture, then I guess I wouldn't have to worry about that, like at all. Robert Williams helping the channel. The secret to horror is always showing the monster. With a smiley face. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. I'll be honest. When it comes to... by the way, thanks for supporting the channel. When it comes to horror in and of itself, I much prefer... I think it can be a lot scarier not showing, like, at all. Like Langoliers. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but the Langoliers movie, I was absolutely terrified of the Langoliers. Because it's not... For most of the movie... They talked about this off-screen enemy, this off-screen adversary that you never see, and just described what it was like, hearing like, sorry, okay, I was going to say, because you were hearing like crunching, like cereal and stuff like that, and it was just building up in my mind. Then I actually saw the Langoliers, and oh my god, that was some of the worst CGI. And this is back when I was a kid. Some of the worst CGI that ever just completely ruined it for me. They should have never shown the Langoliers. It would always, if it had always been a mystery, I think it would have been a lot scarier. Man, is this just the wrong time to stream? Or are you guys just not interested? What is up with that? I think I'm going to get my feelings hurt. Of course, I guess it's Friday in the middle of the day. I guess that makes sense. Toothy Pac-Man. Yeah, it was real bad. So again, I think it would be kind of interesting to see how they would try to survive, especially if they couldn't use their phasers and such. I'll have those props and everything, but they just won't work, and they'll have to go to a more inferior way of working around. I don't know. I'd be curious on your guys' thoughts when it comes to actually funding it, just walking through it overall. I'll probably also do another one. I'll probably also do another one at like 9 or 10 my time, because that's when most people come out. I can get 150, 200 people at night. I was just trying this new one just to see where people are, and I don't think this is the best way. But to be fair, everyone should really quit their jobs. They really should. They shouldn't be doing this at all. It should be a complete focus on me. Especially since, all my European people who should be... It's like nighttime there, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is in Europe. I don't pay attention to those things. Beyond that, not a ton going on. Again, I did a video. I was going to do an upload of it and saying, here's where we're at. Not going to be doing that just because the more I think about it, the less I like about the idea. And I think I'm just going to try to keep it somewhat contained. I also will be graduating very shortly, so I'm excited about that. Self-funding film is awful in the UK. There's a bunch of film funds, but they're so hard to get. Yeah, it's similar to that this way too, Chris. I guess I'm kind of lucky in that I have pitched an idea and have a forum with people who are already giving quite a bit to it. And so I think I can really build on that, and I think I can get a lot of interest in it. If you were just starting out or doing something, I don't think it's possible. I think that once I really push this and start doing a couple of drives and start explaining it to people, I really think I could probably get the short film done in a short amount of time. The animations is what's got me nervous, because as I stated, I actually want to do a full-on Dominion Borg War and have it animated. I'm thinking about six animations, 5 to 10 minutes each, and it just goes through the storyline of the actual Dominion War itself. The short films and the audio docs will be a supplementary to that to kind of world build. The animations themselves, to get it really nice, is going to cost like triple, if not double, if not triple, if not quadruple what the live action shows will be, I think. And that's just to get really nice quality. I'm not even talking about like Trek Yards. What Trek Yards puts out, they're like 30-second, wonder shots. This is just something that looks really nice. Step above what I've done in the past, but not to their level. I don't know. Wasn't expecting a stream, but I made it to the bathroom in time. Well, Sydney, that's what makes you a hero, sir. I do still photography at various East Coast conventions, so I know a few Trek and Borg cosplayers. Well, sweet. So, are they willing to come to Tennessee and pay for their own, room and board? I'll pay them for their time as well as their food. I have a couple of contacts here too. So to say that there won't be any Borg in the movie might not be right, because the guys who are doing the Romulan War, I need to reach out to them. I haven't talked to them in quite a bit. The guys who are doing the Romulan War, he's offered to assist me and get me in touch with people. And so it's not that I can't do it. Possibly for the first, not likely for the second, says Robert. That's fair enough, sir. That's fair enough. I need to come to the East Coast, though. I've been there a couple of times. Oregon and California are beautiful. I mean, I can't stand what most of the public opinions of Californians and people who live in Oregon, especially since they don't like where I live. But beautiful place. And the conventions are a lot of fun, too. Also, apparently, people don't wear any clothing over there, even when it's like 90 below. Don't understand that necessarily, and that's coming from a fat guy, but hey, to each their own. Lorca survived the mirror universe, but mentally broken, says Charles. Since we saw him literally get disintegrated, I don't know that that's true. It's possible he was reintegrated or something like we saw happen with Stamets. I'm not convinced how that's going to work, but I mean, it would be interesting to see. You know what we need to do? We need to get Chris Thompson over here. Chris is one of the best editors that I've seen. He needs to come over here and help me with all of this. Hashtag fund him coming over here. He works for Trek Culture. They actually should pay you for it. I mean, I don't want to brag, but Trek Culture is basically on the map because of me. It's just... That's just science fact, not fiction. Fact. Loved where you live. Spend 5 years near there at Fort Campbell. Oh, cool. Lived where I lived. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I live in Tennessee, for those who don't know. I enjoy it for the most part, though I don't want to die here. I will probably at some point move out. Just a matter of when and where. May actually use my degree as an excuse, though I'm not completely sure where I would go. I can technically move anywhere. It's just a matter of what I want to do, if that makes any sense. You guys still haven't given me any opinions, though, since we got a few more people here. And again, I probably won't be streaming at this time going forward. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest. I'll send you few photos of the Borg guys on Twitter. They're in Virginia, if you're interested. I'll send me the photos. I may actually try to get in touch with them. Starfleet Marines that are on a planet that is currently being assimilated. The Borg have already adapted, so they're going to have to use inferior means or more rustic measures to get past it. I'd be curious what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on that. And the way I look at it is that it would first be it'd be a forest scene. I'd probably have a couple of Marines save, maybe a science guy. And then they have to figure out how to either get off the planet, probably give them a dilemma where they have to choose between doing something that could help others or saving themselves. And for the main character, for the main Starfleet security guy, I was thinking of... I don't know if anyone's seen The Last Ship, but I was thinking of a Tom Chandler character. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, yes, Venom Geek Media 98. Starfleet Marines, otherwise known as Starfleet Security. I still believe that Starfleet Marines exist, but there's not a ton of evidence for them. Well, they're Marines, so they'd probably have to call in the Army. That's true. Well, that's why they're still there and they're not able to get anything done. It's because they're Marines. So... Melee weapons, dwarves seem to do okay with the Mechlath in first contact. Well, sure, that would involve me finding people who have good Borg cosplay and making that work. I'll sponsor that idea. Fighting, not to quote RoboCop, I'll buy that for $1. Well, Terrell Harkness, thanks for supporting the channel. As I was saying, and in fact, this was going to, I'll put that down. One of the things I was saying is that I am going to try to fund this completely. And so to do that, I'm going to need your guys' help. And so for like donations through that, utilizing the Patreon, let me know if that's where you want the money to go towards. I think it'd be interesting. I think it sounds like it would pick up serious Ewok versus Empire energy very quickly. Why do you say that, Lisa? Honestly, would the Borg have shields? They would, assuming. So here's the thing that I was talking about. So to film this and not have any Borg seen on screen. Let me repeat that. To film this and not have any Borg seen on screen, we're looking at $3,000. Borg was going to make that exponentially a little more tough. If I did it with no Borg, it would be almost like a Walking Dead situation where they're on the run and they have to get past certain obstacles. I think it can be done. I'm not sure. And if I can't make it work and make it like really decent, then I'll definitely include makeup Borg. I do have a few contacts, and now including what Robert offered as well. So personally, I don't think the Borg work in natural environments like the forest. How do you think they assimilate planets then, I guess would be my counter to you. Because if they realize that all they have to do is hide in planets and find ways not to be beamed aboard the ship, then they'll do it good. I honestly think the Borg assimilation, especially on a planet, would be really, really... it's an interesting concept, honestly. And I do think that it has Walking... I think it has Walking Dead vibes. Because really, that's what they are. You're being chased by zombies that once they catch you, they turn you into one of them, and then you continue going after them. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Please hold. Can Borg assimilate plants and fungus? Why would Borgs... Well, probably. But why would they? They generally change the atmosphere and everything. Because we saw that in First Contact, right? The Borg assimilated Earth and then turned it into like this toxic wasteland with nothing but metal. What effects can you come up with to convey the use of primitivist tactics that don't get some point involved dropping a tree on a Borg? So, here's the thing, Garrison. I think the focus between the two... What you have in your head and what I have in my head are two different things. So what I would be doing would more be, and the way I'm thinking. Now you guys let me know if this doesn't sound good. And Terrell, definitely let me know. But what I'm thinking is it's more about trying to escape the Borg than fight the Borg. And I think there is a distinct difference in that. So in the first scene you would probably have the science officer, as I talked about, trying to outrun the Borg. We'd either be able to see them or you'd hear in the background. You'd know that he's in trouble. The shots would reflect a lot of green. He'd be going into the forest trying to hide or whatever. He'd be found by the Starfleet security or Marines, whatever the hell we want to call them, by Starfleet, people who know what they're talking about. It'd either be 2 or 3 people. They would actually have primitive weapons. They would have what am I looking for? They would have bullet weapons, I guess, and would be able to pull them aside and somehow hide it. Now, I was thinking about maybe using, since this is going to be post-Dominion War, using the biodampeners, having something on their shoulders, M14s, yeah. Something on their shoulders to dampen their signatures. I would set projectile weapons, exactly. I would set it, I would have a ticking time clock where the dampeners are only going to work for so long, that the Borg will eventually figure it out. And so from there, they have to get from the forest to a abandoned house of some sort to try to figure out what they're going to do. And then again, with the ticking time bomb, and that the dampeners will ultimately fail, along with a choice of either trying to save themselves or going in the opposite direction and buying more time for others who are trying to escape. Then we have the story. Guerrilla warfare style would make the most sense, much like The Walking Dead. You're surviving until rescue, because a full-on fight would be a massacre. Exactly. And so, again, it comes down to, would you be able to afford to have Borg there? Or if I can't have actual Borg, then how do I make this intriguing? How do I make this a story about the Borg and not even show them? I think it's possible. We've seen it before. It's just a matter of doing it in a way that would be engaging. If you could see the Borgification of the environment, that might work, like a noxious fog, decaying foliage. Yeah, I don't hate that, Venom. And that wouldn't... I'd have to sit and think about how you do that, but you could do that. Why wouldn't Borg assimilate plants and fungus? They have a lot of unique biological distinctiveness. Yeah, but does it move them more towards perfection? Because, I mean, dogs have distinctiveness. Cats have distinctiveness. Otters do. But these things don't seem like they'd add a lot. It seems like sapient sentient. You know what I'm saying? I'm torn, says Black Delegation, on Season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. I want the bridge crew to get more time on screen to develop, and all, but at the same time, I want to meet more people that are native to the 32nd century. I think you can have both. Seeing less of the shark ended up being better for Jaws. Yep. But, you know, I truly believe that there's a lot of instances and a lot of great stories where if you never see the monster, it's so much better. It just, the writing has to really be there. Has to be on point. Did you ever play Star Trek Borg back in the 90s? You're showing the Borg could be from a first-person perspective. I don't hate that, Terrell. See, this is why I do this. This is why I have the conversations with you people. Because you're awesome and you have great ideas. I never even thought of that. Never show them, just show it from their point of view. Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to pay you some dividends, sir. I really like that. That's a great idea. Personally, I think the scariest thing is something we never see of, like an alien. I was talking about this before. I don't know if you were here. By the way, Venom Geek Media is doing some great stuff too. If you like what I'm doing, he's doing stuff that's similar but in his own way. It's really good. You should check out his channel. What was I talking about? Oh, the Langoliers. The Langoliers scared the living hell out of me. I couldn't. It was like I was a little kid and they kept talking about the Langoliers. They were saying about how it sounds like cereal, how they eat everything, how they're going to destroy everything. And then you saw the Langoliers and you saw that they're what they looked like. And it's just saddening. There's Venom Geek Media's channel. I don't know why he's not at 10,000. What the hell's up with that? It worked great when playing the game and you ended up being assimilated. At worst, spoiler alert after you say it. At worst, you have a make a Borg arm or something. Well, the ending. I mean, this game is so old. I would suggest you guys play it if you can figure out a way. The ending was kind of a cheat, but I guess made a little bit of sense. I like how Q was there. I like how he taunted everybody. With the Borg, all you really need is a few laser pointers and a fog machine to convey overwhelming numbers. That's fair. Oh yeah, man. Can you imagine that? The board game in VR? Oh my god. Or a VR board game just overall. That's what we need to do. They tried to do a couple of things like that on YouTube where you could like choose your own adventure. That'd be fun, but that'd be so much work and so like just unreasonable, I think. Let me check one thing, guys. Okay. Interesting. 90s full motion video games for Windows 95 at their finest. Story wasn't as important as shocking you with amazing world of technology. What I loved, and this goes into spoilers, but what I love, he became the Doctor because he really him and the Doctor had the same personality or whatever, and so you do an action and you make the wrong choice, and so you're like operating on this Borg, and you make the wrong choice, and the Borg jumps up and just straight up murders the Doctor, and Delancey falls down and then looks up at you. He's like, "Great, now I'm dead," and you have to deal with it. Like it's one of the it's one of those where you choose the wrong and you have to go and redo it. I hope those Indian sectoids are still around in the 32nd century. Well, even the all of them were still around, even the reptilians. So, yeah. Even though the storytelling on that was a little because I mean, were the reptilians all bad guys? I guess Star Trek Borg was set during Wolf 359, right? No. So Star Trek Borg, technically. So here's what happens: Star Trek Borg Wolf 359. You're a cadet on a cruise, and the ship, the Wolf 359, is about to happen, and so they're getting rid of they're sending all of the cadets and non-essential personnel home, and you want to stay and fight, but they're telling you got to go. And so Q shows up and he's like, "Hey, would you like to fight the Borg?" And so you say yes, and you're transported on a ship that is, I think it's set back in time before Wolf 359. It's one of the first engagements with the Borg, and that ship is destroyed. And so you have to, and your dad's on it. And you knew your dad died to the Borg. And so you have to sit there and try to save your dad. It's kind of interesting. I have a good question. What happened to all the Starfleet museums on Earth? All those old starships they probably have on the planet. What happened to them after Starfleet left Earth? I imagine they stayed. They used them for parts, or they stayed as museums, I guess, to a time unknown. It would probably be difficult for an insectoid to make captain. They only live 10 to 13 years. You could get captain in about 10 to 13 years. You'd be old. And their names, every year, doesn't their name get longer? That would be the real hell right there. Their name gets longer and you can't say it. Man, that's a really good idea. You got me excited now. Doing it from the POV of the drone. I like it. It was 10 years later. His dad died at Wolf 359. Ah, okay. So that's where it's confused. So the Borg were coming back. Maybe this is a first contact situation. Ah, okay. And then what I do remember is that he gets... What I love, the ending, this is major spoilers, the ending, so you get through all of it, right? And so Q replaces you. What happened is Q makes you look like the security guard. And you are like this, as you're the security chief, the chief of security or whatever, you're helping the ship. Technically you died, but Q stopped it, and now you're playing as the chief. And he reveals who you are. He reveals that you're the son. You actually never were the chief of security or whatever. And at the end, the ship survives, and it wasn't supposed to. And so Q's like, I honestly don't know what to do. I didn't expect you to get this far. And everybody on the vessel, on the bridge too, everybody you've been working with, this team that you've grown with, they look confused as well. And they're all looking around and like scratching their chins and stuff. And just going along with, they don't know how to go with it either. And ultimately, he sends you back to... Does he send you back to Wolf 359? Or does he send you to... the original 10 years later where the Borg are attacking, like First Contact? I forget. But yeah, it's a good episode. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. Interesting implications, Q being there. Why is he so keen to bring encounters between Starfleet and the Borg? Venom, we've talked about this, good sir. We have discussed it, if you will. I think that it was a proxy war. I really do. I think it was a proxy war that the Q started, either to help humanity, to push them where they needed to be, or to keep the Borg at bay. One or the other. But I sincerely think that was it. Well, I mean, that's what we do here for a living, man. That's what this live stream is. It's all about derailment. That's who we are. Maybe they hatch with inherited skills. Maybe. Maybe they do. I don't know, guys. If you can find Star Trek Borg and you can make it work on Windows 10, you should definitively. Look, do you guys wanna watch the ending? I don't know if you care. I loved. Oh my god, it's so good. Star Trek Borg game. Let's see if this. Let's do the Doctor killed one. I won't show the ending. Hold on. Let me see if this is it. Okay, just to kind of give you an idea of what it is. I just want to show you guys this real quick. Just because this game is so awesome. Alright, we'll watch this for just a second. This is a part of the game. So you're playing the game. This is you. You chose a place. You're supposed to go somewhere, but I think you choose wrong, according to this. I'm assuming they use the TNG set here. That's the captain of the actual ship.
Thank you, my good man.
Sprint, we're waiting.
I believe you're wanted in the computer core control room. Oh, mercy. Why? Because I can.
All right, one last piece. So here's an option where you get to choose what you do with it. And so you choose to mess with it, to try to take it off. It's Borg technology, you don't know what it is. So you grab this. You're like, hey, let's mess with something we have no idea what it is. Let's just screw with it, because I'm sure everything will work out fine. That's your dad.
Self-destruct initiated.
What the hell? Computer abort self-destruct.
Self-destruct in 10 seconds.
Bridge, override all security systems.
I can't, Captain.
5 seconds.
I'm locked out.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's just a good game. Oh my god, it's a good game. Y'all should get it. It's fun. Why hasn't a brewery made a Romulan ale? That's what I'm saying. You just saw a really fun game that you should buy, is what you just saw. Given the Borg were making interdimensional incursions into fluidic space, I could see the Q taking them and say, yeah. I honestly think there was something going on with the Borg. I really do. I think that's where we're going to end it right now. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of popularity here. I will give a shout out to Terrell. Terrell, I will be utilizing that for what it's worth. I love how the Excelsior class ship has an Intrepid engineering. I never noticed that. That is so true. So maybe they were using the Voyager things. They had to have been. That's awesome. I never noticed that. This is my idea for how to do your film. Switch between shaky cam footage with some kind of Borg interface as an overlay chasing your cast and crew, just seeing the silhouette in the fog. I hate that. A lot of good ideas, guys. We're going to make this work. We're going to make the most epic. The greatest, okay? And that's not just us saying it. All of the scientists and all of the great people say it. Unless they don't say it, and then I won't like them very much. All right, guys. I'll see you later tonight. We'll do a live stream about 9-10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Had fun.